this might be your biggest impetus to end all of this, because y'all don't want this smoke. Y'all do not want this mockery. Y'all opened the door with your little AI videos of Kamala. Now look at you. Y'all remember the last time how China did y'all? It was so bad, they even had Canada laughing. You know how bad it is when you get mocked to such a degree and your own boys just start laughing at you? Had Canada participating in the dragon. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. We have officially reached the portion of the program where Donald Trump wakes up in the morning, looks at himself in the mirror and says, "Ah, what's that on my head?" That's not what y'all would say? That's the first thing I would say. Donald Trump wakes up in the morning, looks at himself in the mirror, and thinks to himself, what can I do to make MAGA look worse today?
You don't have to wait a lifetime to find out is somebody a winner or a loser. You got a lot of losers, mostly losers, fortunately. It's a good thing to have a lot of losers. I always like to hang around with losers, actually, because it makes me feel better. I hate guys that are very, very successful and you have to listen to their success stories. I like people that like to listen to my success.
What can I possibly say or do to make them bend and challenge the confines of basic reason and logic to such a degree as to embarrass themselves in perpetuity? Oh, you know what? I got it. Robert Mueller just died. Good, I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. One day, Donald Trump will die and his supporters will try and punish the people who say things like this. Oh, we ain't gotta wait. We ain't gotta wait. Pull up the Charlie Kirk tweets. Let's see. Laura Loomer. President Trump says what everyone is thinking. He's right. We shouldn't be sad when bad people die. The before videos of sick people celebrating and gloating over Charlie's death make me physically ill. It's enough to make you not want to leave your house when you see how normalized this hatred on the left is. It's a lot more where that came from. Cat turd, are you liberal POS losers celebrating Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok? We're going to make you famous. And now, after what that scumbag tried to do to Trump, this is actually mild. And let me guess, here comes JD Vance with the video all after the fact, like a whole VP pick me.
But if you celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, you should not be protected from being fired for being a disgusting person.
Well, see, what it is Robert Mueller was no Charlie Kirk. You know, Charlie Kirk was a saint and a national icon. So he deserves to be treated in a different way than, say, a Robert Mueller. It's not the same.
Shut your stupid ass up. Say that, folks.
So let me get this straight, MAGA. It is up to the individual poster or creator to determine whether or not that person is deserving of basic dignity and respect, and therefore whether or not their passing will be honored in any way. Is that what you're saying?
They should have never gave you money. You don't know how to appreciate it.
They should have never gave you MAGAs the internet. Honestly, they should have never gave you MAGAs the internet. It's been all downhill since then. Then again, I'm pretty sure the big beautiful bill was looking to take the internet away from y'all. So now we see why.
Let's go over some of the best signs from the No Kings protests. Imagine losing our country to a fat bitch that can't even blend his makeup. Billionaires are the only minority hurting America. 13 years of Christian school and you expect me to not love my neighbor. Veto the Cheeto. This is at all of the protests and this is one of my favorites of all time. If Kamala was in charge, we'd be at brunch, which honestly I think is true. I think that the chaos that has been caused over the past year in our society is mainly because of Trump. Never mind, don't take me to your leader, aka an alien, saying that they'd rather not be on planet Earth. Keep the heat on ice until it melts. You know exactly what that means. I hate crowds, but I hate Trump more. We know what goes down at the Republican parties, at the Republican conventions, and we know what's going on behind closed doors. There have been many people that have been caught on Grindr. This is a good sign. Mike Johnson blocked me on Grindr. This is the worst sequel ever, aka Trump's second term. We already know how that's been going down.
Meanwhile,
Iran unswayed by Trump's 48-hour deadline and threats to obliterate energy infrastructure. President Trump threatened a major strike if Iran ignores his 48-hour ultimatum, but experts say it's unlikely to change Tehran's resolve. Yeah. Not when you go from we won to we're winning to seek help. Everybody saw how you was on the side of the road outside NATO. Friday's press gaggle barely exaggerated. At 12:03 p.m., President Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire. At 12:05, he declared victory. At 12:07, he announced he was sending Marines. At 12:08, he said no boots on the ground. At 12:11, he said he did not want a ceasefire. Apparently, he fell asleep because he went like 5 minutes without saying something. At 12:16, he declared victory again. At 12:17, he asked for a ceasefire and apparently a sandwich. At 12:23, he told NATO they were cowards. At 12:29, he said Iran was begging for a ceasefire. At 12:31, he said everything was perfect. At that point, anything else you say after that just disproves that everything is perfect, does it not? Oh, is that logic again? At 12:36, he said $500 oil was a good thing. Oh, there he is. And telling you it's raining, MAGA. What's that? Is that for the long-term gain? At 12:37, he demanded Iran open Hormuz. At 12:39, he said Hormuz was never closed. He said, hey, no, because the big beautiful bill was supposed to take all their internet away and their cable. So they're not gonna see this. They're not gonna see this.
I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
At 12:41, he said the U.S. was not at war with Iran. At 12:42, he declared victory in Iran. Hey, Chris Murphy, is this good?
Just to be very clear, you are a no on any funding request.
I'm absolutely a no on any funding request. I mean, every single day, this war makes less and less sense. We're going to give Iran $14 billion to fund this war with the United States. We're going to give Russia billions of dollars to fund their war with Ukraine. We're literally putting money into the pockets of the very nations that we are fighting right now. Like, we've never seen this level of incompetence in war making in this country's history. And frankly, we've had a lot of incompetence in war making.
And let's also keep in mind all of this, the ultimatum and everything about nuclear facilities that were supposedly obliterated already. You thought we forgot?
That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
Why you always lying?
The U.S. wants Iran to make 6 commitments: no missile program for 5 years, 0 uranium enrichment, decommissioning of nuclear reactors, arms control treaties with regional countries, no financing for regional proxies, and strict outside observation protocols around the creation and use of centrifuges. In other words, so Trump wants Obama's deal back, except with his name on it. Got it. That is the one percenter's way, is it not? That is the one percenter's way. That was every story I heard during Black History Month goes exactly like that.
Don't scare me like that, colonizer.
But here's the thing. When it comes to media literacy, here in the United States, it's on absolute E. You know, I mean, and we on the No Child Left Behind program where we just pushing them through despite no media literacy whatsoever. The rest can't be said for the rest of the world. See, they all saw exactly how you was moving and how you didn't need no help and how you claimed victory and how you supposedly had already destroyed these things. They saw all of that. So it was no shock what their reaction was to your call for help.
It's about to go down.
This ain't all the files. This is not all the files. Half these names are blacked out. This page right here look like UPN Friday night. Ain't nothing but black on here. And I know exactly who it is. Why is he protected? Oh, because he donated? All the tax breaks he get, that was basically my money he donated. Where's my protection? You already know, while the haves protect themselves and each other, they do nothing when your phone numbers, addresses, and bank accounts are being attacked. And you know who that helps? Data brokers that take all the information they can find on you and sell it without your knowledge. And creeps. It also helps creeps. We know this because the bill that would have required data brokers to get your consent before selling your information is circling the drain like this Congress. This is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Data brokers do have to remove your information if you tell them, but they make it as hard as possible. But Aura does the hard work for you, constantly scanning the dark web and submitting opt-outs on your behalf. Give Aura a few weeks and you'll stop seeing your information on these sketchy sites when you search yourself. They also include features like dark web monitoring, fraud alerts, a VPN, and more. Aura is truly a great deal if you want to be more private and protected online. You can go to my link, aura.com/Reese Waters. That's aura.com/Reese Waters to try 14 days for free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal information off these data broker sites automatically.
Members of NATO are responding after President Trump warned that the alliance would face a, quote, very bad future if it doesn't help secure the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the EU's foreign policy chief appeared to agree with President Trump that it is in Europe's interest to keep the strait open, but also added it's, quote, out of NATO's area of action. And a spokesperson for German Chancellor Friedrich Merz struck a more defiant tone, saying it is not NATO's war.
And this one about broke me. This is absolute cinema. Journalist, Trump wants help from Europe to open Strait of Hormuz. French General Richaud, he can go F himself. Wait a minute, did they put the little umlaut over the F word? That's a fancy one right there. That's a fancy one. That means you don't just go F yourself just out of nowhere. You got to take care of yourself first. For that one, you got to take yourself out to dinner first. For that one. French General Richaud, he can go F himself. He wanted to invade Greenland and now he's begging for help from Europe. This war is now isolating Trump. And not just internationally. Just wait till the businessmen get involved. The economy has a Strait of Hormuz deadline for Trump. 2 weeks. Corporate executives on a recent CNBC CFO Council call expressed concern about the risk of a sustained rise in oil prices if the Strait of Hormuz closure is not soon resolved. Trump issued a deadline for Iran to open the strait over the weekend, and the military has intensified attacks related to the closure, but the C-suite has set its own deadline for reopening about 2 weeks. Oil and energy market expert John Kilduff of Again Capital told CFOs on the call that traders see the situation in much the same way. A roughly 2-week deadline for a resolution before oil prices spike even more sharply and the global economy has to start preparing for energy shortages in Asia and the reining in of industrial activity. And you think the rest of the world didn't see that? You think the rest of the world isn't aware of that when you make a challenge for a deadline? Honestly, I just, on some level, it actually is reaffirming of my sense of reality to see the world reacting with sense and reason. It is. As for you, Trump, you might have to bow your head in prayer. Is he praying already? Oh, he's asleep. China mocks Donald Trump. U.S. president's group prayer at the White House turns viral joke. The world is laughing at him. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, though. China. Let me see what they're doing. Let me see what. Pull that up. Hey, China, did y'all see the Black MAGA version? Can y'all do the Black MAGA version? No, don't use no blackface. Y'all don't have no immigrants in it? Okay, never mind. Forget I said it. That was solid, though. That was a solid job. Also, y'all didn't keep people too long in the prayer, because that's one thing. When they keep people too long in the prayer, you know what I mean? You set out on the prayer with an open spirit and an open heart, and now you're making plans for the rest of the day while everybody else still in prayer. Nobody wants that. Y'all didn't do that. I appreciate that. No, it landed here. Yes, we are respected like never before, I heard a PDF say. Wow. Hey, and that was from Chris Maloney. Hey, MAGA, y'all gonna lose the ability to claim law and order. You know, despite all of the ways in which you've contradicted that. Even the branding is lost. You might want to return serve. From Martina Navratilova, LOL, we deserve that. Sure enough do. Sure enough do. But Martina, I don't know who the we is. I don't know who the we. He deserved that? You mean he deserved that? I would even say they deserve that. Yeah, I'm looking at y'all, MAGA. Simping for the Chinese who are mocking prayer to own the orange man. Incredible. Interesting flex, siding with communists mocking religious people. Who's mocking religious people? Who's mocking religious people? Huh? Who's mocking prayer? Who's mocking prayer exactly out here? Huh? Hey, MAGA, this y'all? Yes, it is. That is y'all, isn't it? That is y'all, isn't it? Who's mocking religious people? Who's mocking prayer? Once again, they're not mocking Christians. They're mocking war criminals hiding behind Christianity. And quite frankly, Trump won't be finished until the two are as synonymous as possible. At least here. But they ain't going for it.
Have no issue with civilians.
Why did you attack the Manaf school?
This AI video from Iran's embassy in China is going viral.
Lie.
Beijing's heavy-handed government censors are allowing videos like this to spread, magnifying the narrative that President Donald Trump is evil and dishonest.
We didn't hit the Manaf school. America doesn't have Tomahawk missiles at all.
A preliminary U.S. military investigation found the strike was likely American. China is seizing on the moment, condemning the war, claiming the moral high ground.
Let me keep everyone safe.
Sounds great.
This state media video shows the U.S. putting other countries in a cage.
Relax. Sometimes security comes with a little control.
As the war escalates, so does the trolling. President Trump's White House prayer circle with religious leaders flooding Chinese social media. Censors are allowing a tidal wave of viral videos and memes mocking that moment in the Oval Office. The caption on this political cartoon reads, "A Nobel Peace Prize winner who devours kids." Other cartoons in Chinese state media ridicule the rising price of oil. They say President Trump is adding fuel to the fire in the Strait of Hormuz by asking countries, including China, to send warships. Chinese state media is reporting Trump's threat to postpone his meeting with President Xi Jinping later this month.
美双方就特朗普总统访华事
China's foreign ministry is urging all sides to de-escalate, saying Beijing and Washington remain in communication about Trump's visit to China. An opinion piece in Communist Party mouthpiece Global Times says Washington is asking who will send warships. Beijing is asking how to stop the war. Users are flooding state media with comments like these. Seems like Trump knows he won't be able to come to China, so he's lining up an excuse for an off-ramp. Let me translate that. I'm out of options. Somebody help. The U.S. originally wanted to use Venezuela and Iran, two major oil-producing countries, as bargaining chips for a deal. Now the U.S. crippled their own strength. All of those anti-U.S. comments, too many to count, spreading freely across China.
Honestly, forget what the C-suite is telling you. This might be your biggest impetus to end all of this, because y'all don't want this smoke. Y'all do not want this mockery. Y'all opened the door with your little AI videos of Kamala. Now look at you. Y'all remember the last time how China did y'all. It was so bad, they even had Canada laughing. You know how bad it is when you get mocked to such a degree and your own boys just start laughing at you? Hey, Canada participating in the dragon.
Okay, this order, it's a wonderful order. It's a beautiful order. This order is pulling American booze off the liquor mart shelves.
And if you're not careful, more countries are going to start participating. They got internet too. No, not y'all MAGA. Not yours got cut off. Y'all cut off. Iran is trolling Trump again hard. This is what happens when global politics becomes reality TV. Trump asking for help at Hormuz Strait crisis.
Boat gently down, merrily, 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 merrily.
Row, row your boat gently down the street. Row, row your boat gently down.
Come on, stop.
I know how it feel to wake up, fucked up, pockets broke as hell.
Why nobody helps me to open Hormuz?
They need some more data centers over there. They can't have Trump talking like that. It's really not that hard to get a good voice comp for Trump. You just ask like a 4th or 5th grader to come in and do the voice. But yeah, that one wasn't good. Also for Trump, I would try the median. Try the median, Trump. Try the median at a light. That's typically when you have a welcome audience right there. That typically will work out for you. But that is pretty much exactly the way I pictured things when I talk about him panhandling outside of NATO. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, they wasn't finished?
This just came for you, sir. I believe it's a gift from Iran.
Iran's trolling of Trump is brutal. They're now posting Lego videos. Damn, the little girls around him in the bed is diabolical level trolling. Wow. I didn't think that, wow, that was interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I seen it. I didn't know. That's what they did with Legos. Wait till they find Magna tiles. They made a whole series? Iran-affiliated media shared a Lego animation video called Narrative of Victory depicting the U.S.-Israel war with Iran. Now, Trump, whenever the White House posts literally anything, nobody wants to be affiliated with y'all. So people say, don't use the music, don't use the photos, don't like literally nobody wants to affiliate with y'all but Kid Rock. Maybe go to the Lego route with that. Maybe. They got regular animation too. Iran media has released an animation titled Lord of the Straits, themed around the Strait of Hormuz. Lord of the Straits. Well, you know what, Trump? They can't make too many of those. They can only make like 6 or 7 of them because the quality gonna fall off after like the 5th one. The quality gonna fall off, and then they're gonna make an 8th one that everybody just wishes didn't exist. No, that's Game of Straits. That's Game of Straits. Lord of Straits. It was only 3 of them, and they were all pretty consistent in quality. But here's ultimately why I'm troubled.
President Trump still says he wants other countries to help open the Strait of Hormuz. Most other countries, at least publicly, not jumping up and down to help. Question is, why? With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten. So what's a possible reason why these other countries aren't lining up just yet publicly to help with President Trump in Iran?
It's really simple, Mr. Berman. It's really simple. The people in those countries hate the U.S. military action in Iran. What are we talking about here? Okay, net approval rating, U.S. military action in Iran. In Canada, way underwater, minus 27 points. You think that's low? Thank you, Mr. Berman. You think that's low? Take a look here in Japan. Negative 73 points. My goodness gracious, way down there. How about in the UK? We're talking about 34 points underwater. Key U.S. allies, the people in those countries, absolutely despise the U.S. military action in Iran. No wonder the leaders in those countries are, let's just say, a little apprehensive about helping out the U.S.
Countries that hated America before Trump and countries that hate America after Trump. Oh, we got one country up. Oh, no, that's Alaska. Okay. Oh, no, wait, we got a fix. Let me show you the truth outside your bubble. Countries that hated America before Trump and after Trump. That's rough there. That's harsh. That's a bit harsh. Now, it's not that I can say it isn't deserved. I mean, we can't go 1 week without offending somebody.
One thing you don't want to signal too much, you know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us.
Yes, the classic into the Oval Office to be insulted. We saw that with Ukraine and Zelensky. We saw that with South Africa, where they were playing him TikToks. We saw that with Liberia, right? I can't believe your English is is so good. Something real American, something that's born and bred here in America, like English. We even saw Canada. They tried it with Canada, but Canada stood up to them, though. Canada was real. They was thorough.
I didn't know bell.
And what bothers me is I have a deep affinity for so many of these cultures, so many of these places. I've mentioned Winnipeg and how I rep Manitoba all day, but I've been to British Columbia and Ontario and Quebec. Remember, it was a Montreal Jazz Festival poster that used to be behind me on my old set. That's not to mention the time I spent in the UK. Shout out to the good people at Blackfriars. I've gone down to South Africa, Joburg, and Cape Town for a comedy festival and had the time of my life. I've been to Japan, Tokyo, and Kyoto, which might be the most beautiful place that I've ever seen. True story. Not to mention China and all. And how about France? How about France, where I purchased this jersey right on the Champs-Elysees? They probably took me for a ride too. I'm pretty sure they were all laughing at me and all the tourists that go to the Champs-Elysees to buy French soccer gear. Honestly, I think I did the equivalent of walking into Times Square with a full wallet. I think I did the equivalent of that. They were dragging me. They probably still laughing at me in France. That's probably what that general was yelling about. It's them stupid Americans. He was yelling about who comes to the Champs-Elysees to buy merch. That's probably what he said. My ability to enjoy and exchange culture with people from outside of this country is colored by their perception of us that I had absolutely nothing to do with.
If I was living in a different country and I hugged my daughter goodbye in the morning to send her off to school, and I found out later that day that school had been hit by a bomb sent by the United States, and then I had to sit and watch videos like this.
And you know what? I care even less about the 62 children who got killed in the bombing. I don't give a shit about that.
It's over 100.
I don't care if it's 2.
And videos like this. I would be saying to America too, and I would be very extreme about it for the rest of my life. We are the villains. We are the bad guys. We are no hero in the world right now. And I can't believe this is hard for you to see.
Well, Trump, at least you have the support of the people inside the country to lean on. I'm just playing. Trump, you know I'm just playing.
He's the leader of the pack, or last in the pack, when it comes to 21st century presidents and how Americans are viewing him on the economy, at least among independents. Look at this. 21st century presidents, economic net approval ratings at this point in term 2 among independents. Trump is 48 points underwater. Just 1 in 4 independents say that they approve of the job that he is doing when it comes to the economy. His net approval rating on the economy among independents, twice as bad as Barack Obama's was at this point, who was 25 points underwater, and double digits worse than George W. Bush was among independents, according to CBS News at this point when it comes to the economy. Look, these are numbers that if I were a Republican running for Congress, I would be shaking in place, because there's really nowhere to hide if you're a Republican running for Congress, and President Trump is in this bad a shape among independents and Americans overall when it comes to the economy.
Well, Trump, he did say your support with MAGA was 100%. So, like I said, you get their internet and their services cut off, they won't be able to see none of the AI stuff that the whole world is dragging you on the internet. They won't be able to see none of that. Of course, they won't be able to support you either on said internet. So you might have to ramp up them bots. Get them bots. Get all the ones that was posting about Melania's movie. They should be done with that by now. Hey, to the rest of the world, we are the world. We are the children. I love y'all. Why y'all looking at me like Michael Jackson and We Are the World?
There seems no hope at all.
If you just